المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا، وأشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم، وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ثم أما بعد. More than 7 months since the war started in Gaza and the rest of the Holy Land in Palestine, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our witness that we, the Muslim community in this society in the United States, are standing with the ultimate solidarity and support of our brothers and sisters under oppression and genocide in Palestine and Gaza in particular. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alleviate their hardship. اللهم اجعل لأهل غزة وفلسطين من كل هم فرجا ومن كل ضيق مخرجا ومن كل عسر يسرا ومن كل عيب سترا. اللهم اربط على قلوبهم، اللهم ثبت أقدامهم، اللهم سدد رميهم، اللهم اجبر كسرهم، اللهم ارحم ضعفهم، اللهم تول أمرهم، اللهم أنجز وعدك وكان حقا علينا نصر المؤمنين. Maybe we all have noticed by now the impact that the Muslim community in the United States is making when it comes to the situation in Gaza and Palestine. Increasing the public awareness of the situation, or what is called nowadays in the media, controlling the narrative. The vast majority of people around us, by now, they know for a fact who is the occupier and who is the occupied, and who is the oppressor and who is the oppressed, who is the criminal and who is the victim. Muslim community is acting in a very positive way, in a very aggressive way, to show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala our solidarity and support as much as we can. And that makes it clear how impactful, how powerful, how influential the Muslim community is becoming in this society. While we are growing, impacting the society at large, we have to make sure that we do have a road plan, a road map, or a vision. Where are we heading? A part of that vision that we have to have is to make sure that we empower the new generation, we endorse our youth, we provide for them whatever it takes in order for them to nurture and to grow and to embrace their Muslim identity and to become proud and loud Muslims and to take over the leadership of the Islamic work in the United States when we, parents and grandparents, are aging and passing away one after another. Maybe you agree with me that we do have sufficient number of activists. We have philanthropists. We have huffaz to lead the salah in the month of Ramadan. We have public speakers. But we do not have sufficient number of Islamic scholars, males and females, homegrown Islamic scholars, indigenous, native, organic Islamic scholars who speak the language and the mind of the community. That should be a part of our plan. while endorsing and supporting and nurturing our kids and our youth, while providing that spiritual, that educational, that social environment for them to grow and to embrace their Muslim identity, we have no choice but to focus on producing sufficient number of Islamic scholars from within the community. What is the reason? Do we need Islamic scholars from within our community? My answer is absolutely yes. By those people of knowledge, by those scholars, we know what's right and what is wrong, and what's haram and what's halal, and what is wajib and what's mandub and what's makruh and what's haram. We can set our priorities accordingly. We know how to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and establish our deen accordingly in this society. بعلم وبهدى وبكتاب منير. Think about it this way. If we parents and grandparents come to this masjid, let's say 50 or 60 years from now, or I mean, if any of our kids, children or grandchildren, come to this masjid 50 or 60 years from now, how many of us, parents and grandparents, will be sitting here listening to the khutbah? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you all long life. But most probably none of us will be here. We'll be already gone, passing away, moving on to the next level of our life. And this actually brings a question. Are we taking our full responsibility in educating the new generation to produce sufficient number of scholars? And when I say scholars, I mean individuals who know the whole Quran by heart, huffaz, who have studied the tafsir, the meaning of the Quran, who mastered at least one of the madhahib of Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah, who knows very well how to deduce rules from the Quran and the Sunnah, or at least how to follow scholars in deducing those rules. Someone who knows the society and the limitations and the law of the land and the restrictions, someone who feels the pain of the Muslim community, who appreciate the need and the necessity of the Muslim community, who is able to come up with practical and reasonable rules for the community. Do we have that sufficient number of scholars? Before you jump to a conclusion and say yes or no, if you attempt to pass a survey in any Muslim community of your choice, from coast to coast, as they say, especially those communities who do not have any Islamic schooling system, pass a survey within our teenagers, our youth, just to find out the percentage of those youth, boys and girls, who are able to recite Surah Al-Fatiha accordingly with no mistakes. Those who know the very basic rules of Tahara, Wudu and Salah. If you do so and you collect the data, as they say, you will be surprised. You will definitely say, you know what, we have long way to go. We have long way to go. We focus on building the masajid, the Islamic schools, Islamic organizations, charity organizations, civil rights organizations, political organizations. But when it comes to producing sufficient number of scholars, not philanthropists, not activists, not huffaz only, no, scholars, there is a huge room for improvement in my assessment. And this brings to our attention the very severe consequence of lacking Islamic knowledge in any society. Prophet ﷺ a while ago brought to our attention that the whole Muslim community has to put their resources together to make sure that they are not running out of resources. And whosoever passes away from those scholars that we know very well, somebody else or even a group of people are replacing him or her in filling that gap. Prophet ﷺ is bringing to our attention this issue by saying in a very authentic hadith, قال صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الله لا يقبض العلم انتزاعا ينتزعه من الناس. Allah does not take away knowledge, of course Islamic knowledge, by snatching it from people. He doesn't do so. ولكن يقبض العلم بقبض العلماء. But he does take away Islamic knowledge by the death of scholars, by taking away the souls of scholars. If you ponder in this part of the hadith, ولكن يقبض العلم بقبض العلماء, someone might ask a question, do not we have sufficient resources nowadays? Print resources, digital resources, online resources. My answer is yes, we do have a lot. But this is not the right way of seeking knowledge. Knowledge is to be taken from the mouth of people of knowledge. This is how the Sahaba radiallahu anhum learned the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from interacting with the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. In fact, the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam has received the Quran from Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam directly. Jibreel has received the Quran from Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. The Sahaba radiallahu anhum have heard and listened to the Quran, recited the Quran in the presence of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. They were surrounding him almost 24/7, interacting with him, transacting with him, praying behind him, sitting with him, shaking his hands, eating and drinking, traveling with him until they learn how to practice their deen. That's called indoctrination, at-talqeen or at-talaqqi. So the answer is yes, we do have resources, but those resources are absolutely insufficient. You have to ask people of knowledge, because people of knowledge are the only ones who can match the ayat and the hadith from one side and the contemporary issues that the Muslim community is facing from the other side. Very random example, since tonight we'll be having a Islamic finance seminar. Everybody knows that riba is haram. Is mortgaging a house in a very traditional way in the USA, is it the same riba that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prohibited or not? Is using your credit card for cash withdrawal from any ATM machine in the street, is it the exact riba that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prohibited or not? Examples go on and on. And that's why he said alayhi salatu wasalam, وَلَكِنْ يَقْبِضُ الْعِلْمَ بِقَبْضِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. Islamic knowledge will be terminated by the death of scholars. We have seen our scholars in this society aging and dying one after another. Are we replacing them? Do we have a plan to replace them? Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam continued by saying, حَتَّى إِذَا لَمْ يُبْقِ عَالِمًا, until he leaves no scholars. And that is very, very possible to happen. It does happen, it did happen, and it does happen. Maybe you want to refer to me as an Islamic educator who has been traveling across the nation for the last 20 years of my stay in the United States. And I can attest that I came across several Muslim communities in which the whole community does not have one single individual who is knowledgeable enough in Islam, male or female. No religious authority whatsoever. That's the meaning of the hadith of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. حَتَّى إِذَا لَمْ يُبْقِ عَالِمًا. Scholars are aging and dying, and the Muslim community are just acting in a very careless manner. They do not feel the pain of lacking Islamic scholars. They do not see the consequences of spreading like ignorance within the society by lacking people of knowledge. What will happen, Ya Rasulullah, if our scholars are aging and dying without being replaced with indigenous, native, organic, homegrown scholars? قال حتى إذا لم يبق عالما اتخذ الناس رؤوسا جهالا. Community at large will start assigning ignorant individuals. No offense, that's the exact statement of the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام. اتخذ الناس رؤوسا جهالا. Community at large will start assigning, appointing ignorant individuals, taking them as scholars. Muslim community here in this society and anywhere, anytime, cannot function without having religious authority. Asking people of knowledge actually is a very good sign. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. We have to have religious authority. But the question here, who is the right person to ask? There is a gap that has to be filled. If the most qualified one is there, no one can compete with him. If that qualified individual is not there, a less qualified individual will just jump and fill the gap. What if that less qualified individual is not there? A disqualified individual with D, a disqualified individual will fill the gap. That's exactly the analysis of the Prophet ﷺ in the hadith. حتى إذا لم يبق عالما. If the community is so lazy, the community is not feeling the bad consequence of lacking knowledge, if the community is not putting their resources together to educate and to train and to facilitate and to help producing more and more scholars, اتخذ الناس رؤوسا جهالا. Okay? What is the consequence of having acting scholars who do not have knowledge? Prophet ﷺ is answering. قال اتخذ الناس رؤوسا جهالا فسئلوا فأفتوا بغير علم. They will be approached, they will be asked by the community at large, and because of their ignorance, they do not want to be on the spot. They do not want to be embarrassed. That is the nature and the attitude of ignorant individuals. They cannot say, I do not know. They are way more than happy, more than willing, just to make up any answer and move on. And people of knowledge, with sound and authentic knowledge, will never do that. Will never ever do that. This reminds us all with the very famous story of Imam Malik ibn Anas. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا مَالِكِ ibn Anas. أعلم أهل زمانه, the most knowledgeable individual during his lifetime, the founder of the Maliki school of thought. He was sitting in the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ one day, giving his daily class, and upon the completion of the class, someone from outside the halaqah came and started showering Malik ibn Anas with too many questions. Malik radiallahu anhu wa ardah was not ready. So he asked him the first question. Malik kept thinking about it, nodding his head. It didn't come out. He said, La adri, I do not know. Second question, he could not answer. He said, La adri. According to the narration that I have read, سئل 40 مسألة. He was asked 40. سئل 40 مسألة فقال في 36 منها لا أدري. In which in 36 questions he said, I do not know. That is Malik ibn Anas, the top religious authority during his lifetime. 36 out of 40 questions he said, I do not know. That inquirer, questioner, got a kind of disappointed. He said, yeah, Imam, when I go back to my community, what should I tell them? He said, tell them that Malik ibn Anas does not know. And then he made a very powerful statement. He said, well, to embarrass myself in front of you, and in front of my students of knowledge, by saying I do not know, is way better, or like less harmful than embarrassing myself in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by speaking on His behalf without having knowledge. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. That is the level of confidence that Malik ibn Anas used to have. Those are the people of knowledge that you want to follow. Abu Hanifa al-Nu'man, Malik ibn Anas, Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, radiyallahu anhum ajma'in. How many of those scholars or students of those scholars we have within our Muslim community who really fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who are willing to say, I do not know when they do not know. I will take it as a homework. I will do some research. I will ask my colleagues and come back to you. How many of those scholars we have within our community? Back to the hadith. قال اتخذ الناس رؤوسا جهالا فسئلوا فأفتوا بغير علم. Those ignorant individuals will be answering without having knowledge. And listen to the most severe consequence of this scenario, or worst case scenario. قال فضلوا وأضلوا. Those ignorant so-called scholars will be going astray. ضلوا وأضلوا. And they will be misguiding the whole community at large. They will go astray and take the community astray. Rest assured, brothers and sisters, that the Prophet ﷺ is not telling us just a story for our information. La wallahi, he is not. It's not FYI for our information. It is for our implementation. Prophet ﷺ is bringing to our attention the importance of producing and training and educating and facilitating and helping producing sufficient number of Islamic scholars. Again, indigenous, native, organic, homegrown Islamic scholars, males and females. Because without having those people, here is the consequence according not to me, according to Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, فَضَلُّوا وَأَضَلُّوا. Yes, we want to grow. Yes, we want to impact and influence the society, but based on knowledge. بِعِلْمٍ وَبِهُدًى وَبِكِتَابٍ مُنِيرٍ. Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam is the one who is caring the most about the guidance and the hidayah of the Muslim community. In fact, that was the reason behind sending him as a prophet and messenger. لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنِتُّمْ حَرِيصٌ عَلَيْكُمْ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَؤُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ أبي أنت أمي يا رسول الله. So that is the message that the Prophet ﷺ is sending us all here, parents and grandparents and imams and scholars and leaders and community members, fathers and mothers, everybody. Make sure that you put your resources together to make sure that the Muslim community will never ever run out of resources, and we do have sufficient number of scholars with authentic and relevant knowledge who can serve the community بعلم وبهدى وبكتاب منير. That is the message that the Prophet ﷺ is sending us all when he says إن الله لا يقبض العلم انتزاعا ينتزعه من الناس ولكن يقبض العلم بقبض العلماء حتى إذا لم يبق عالما اتخذ الناس رؤوسا جهالا فسئلوا فأفتوا بغير علم فضلوا وأضلوا إن في ذلك لذكرى لمن كان له قلب أو ألقى السمع وهو شهيد. الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Respected brothers and sisters, I'm here today and tomorrow as well to represent Guidance College, which is one of the Islamic universities that is striving to fulfill the mission that the Prophet ﷺ indicated clearly in the hadith that I shared with you in the first part of the khutbah. We are here to spread authentic and relevant Islamic knowledge, and our commitment, our promise that inshallah, we will never ever let the Muslim community run out of resources. We have been operating since 2012, helping the Muslim community, increasing the public awareness in different areas related to Islamic studies. One of the programs that we offer is Masters in Islamic Education. Tomorrow, inshallah, between 10 and 12, 10 a.m. and 12 p.m., I'll be having a seminar for your teachers here, local teachers, on how to run effectively a Quran class, whether memorization or revision or tafsir or tajweed. And tonight, inshallah, we'll be having a seminar between 7 and 9, between 7 all the way until Salatul Maghrib, about Islamic finance. We do offer Masters in Islamic Economics and Finance. We do offer Masters in Islamic Education. And rest assured that those group of people of knowledge are dedicating their whole life and resources to serve the Muslim community. Tonight, inshallah, we'll be trying our best to unlock the secret of Islamic finance. What does it mean? What's the difference between the capitalist and the Islamic one? And we will be touching briefly on some of those contemporary issues that the Muslim community is always asking about when it comes to cryptocurrency, to life insurance, to home mortgage, to retirement account, to student loan, to investing in the stock market, and the list actually goes on and on. And tomorrow, inshallah, we'll be focusing on like classroom management and how to efficiently run a Quran class. If you want to get more information about Guidance College, go to our website, guidancecollege.org. We do have a booth actually outside. Just grab a brochure and read more about the services and or the educational services that Guidance College is providing to serve the Muslim community at large. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us all working for His cause Azza wa Jal. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us all, improving our ibadah and our knowledge. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala utilize all of us to serve His deen in this society. Allahumma ameen. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه والباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا اللهم من الراشدين. اللهم أحسن عاقبتنا في الأمور كلها وأجرنا من خزي الدنيا ومن عذاب الآخرة. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
So استقيموا, sit in the lines, close the gaps, foot by foot, shoulder by shoulder. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشعة عاملة ناصبة تصلى نارا حامية تسقى من عين آنية ليس لهم طعام إلا من ضريع لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع وجوه يومئذ ناعمة لسعيها راضية في جنة عالية لا تسمع فيها لاغية فيها عين جارية فيها سرر مرفوعة وأكواب موضوعة ونمارق مصفوفة وزرابي مبثوثة أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت وإلى السماء كيف رفعت وإلى الجبال كيف نصبت وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت فذكر إنما أنت مذكر لست عليهم بمسيطر إلا من تولى وكفر فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر إن إلينا إيابهم ثم إن علينا حسابهم. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum. We have Salatul Janaza, inshallah ta'ala. Let's prepare for it. If I can request first 5 rows on the left side on brothers, inshallah. Please move back a little bit so as they prepare. And also make dua for brother, father-in-law of brother Rafael, brother Fatih passed away in Egypt. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bless him with his maghfirah. And also, as Dr. Main Alqudah announced, tonight is the Islamic Finance Workshop, and tomorrow also, if you like to join, it's a focused event for teachers at 10 a.m. Tomorrow also is a cake decoration workshop at 12 p.m. to 12, and Maps Mohsin brunch is next Saturday, June 1st at 10 a.m. And also, I will invite Sheikh Adam to also talk about LGBTQ programming.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So there will be 2 programs for to talk about LGBTQ Islamic perspective for the youth specifically. The first one will be with the Sunday school with myself, inshallah, this Sunday, in an age-appropriate way, inshallah. And then on Friday, June 7th, it will be with Brother Ahsan at MAPS Youth, inshallah, for ages 13 plus. We also have a few dua requests. There's a brother whose wife is having surgery tomorrow morning, Brother Ahmad's wife in Pakistan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give her a successful surgery, inshallah, and all those that are sick. We also have the Redmond Ridge Masjid fundraiser, June 9th, at the MAPS Banquet Hall, inshallah. Please do vacate the first 5 rows, inshallah, for the Salatul Janazah.